Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everyone, to our channel where we explore the fascinating world of coins, treasures, and hidden gems that may be sitting quietly in your pocket change, waiting to be discovered. And today's story is about one of the most surprising and astonishing coins in the world of numismatics, the 1999 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin. A coin that to most people is just a regular penny, but in the right form, with the right mistakes and minting errors, has been valued at up to $8 million. And in this exploration we will go in detail about how a coin struck for just 1 cent can carry such astronomical value, what types of minting errors and mistakes can occur, why collectors are fascinated by such pieces, the possibilities of different varieties and transitional errors from the 1999 D cent, and how condition, rarity, and demand combine to create something worth more than most people will earn in a lifetime. So buckle up, because this journey is going to take us deep into the mechanics of the US Mint, the unpredictable beauty of minting errors, and the passion of coin collectors who are willing to spend fortunes for a chance to own a one-of-a-kind piece. So first, let us set the scene in 1999, when the US Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents at its Denver facility. Each coin struck from copper-plated zinc planchets featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, and among these billions of coins a very tiny number slipped through with errors so dramatic that they have become legendary. And these errors are the reason why some examples of the 1999 D cent are considered priceless by collectors and auction houses. One of the most famous errors of the 1999 D cent is the double die error, where the die itself received more than one impression from the hub but misaligned, creating doubling of design features that appear clearly on the finished coin, and on Lincoln cents this can be seen on Liberty, In God We Trust, the date, or even details of Lincoln's portrait. And in some cases the doubling is so strong that it is visible without magnification, creating a coin that looks obviously different from a normal penny. And when such a dramatic double die is combined with the 1999 D date and mint mark, collectors go wild because it is both rare and instantly recognizable. And in uncirculated mint state condition this kind of error can command staggering values. Now another category of error for the 1999 D cent is the off-center strike, which happens when the blank planchet is not properly aligned in the collar during striking, causing the design to be pushed to one side, leaving part of the coin blank. And these off-center errors are extremely popular, especially when the date and mint mark remain visible, because that allows collectors to authenticate the error and identify the exact year and mint. And the more extreme the off-center strike, the more dramatic and valuable the coin becomes. And for the 1999 D cent, some off-center strikes have been discovered that are so extreme that nearly half the coin is blank yet the date remains, and these are the kinds of dramatic errors that can reach values into the millions when found in pristine condition. And then there are broad strike errors where the collar that normally restrains the coin fails, allowing the coin to expand outward when struck, creating a wider and thinner penny with distorted details. And while broad strikes are less common than off-centers, they are still highly collectible, and examples from 1999 D in mint state condition are especially desirable. And moving into even rarer categories we find wrong planchet errors, which are some of the most spectacular errors a coin can have. And for a 1999 D cent this could mean that instead of being struck on a copper-plated zinc blank, it was struck on a dime, nickel, or even foreign coin blank. And when this happens the coin will have the Lincoln cent design but the wrong size, weight, and sometimes even color. For example, a cent struck on a dime blank would appear silver rather than copper and be smaller and lighter. And when authenticated by top grading services such as PCGS or NGC, such errors are considered unique treasures worth millions. And then there are transitional errors, where a coin was struck using a die or planchet from another year. And for the 1999 D cent this could mean that leftover experimental or foreign blanks were mistakenly used, or that a reverse die with slightly different details intended for the following year was paired with a 1999 obverse. And transitional varieties like these are extremely valuable because they represent moments of change in the mint's history, and collectors prize them for their rarity and historical significance. And then there are die break errors, often called cuts, where part of the die cracks or breaks away and the resulting coins show large raised lumps or missing design details. And 1999 D cents with dramatic die breaks across Lincoln's head, through the date, or forming large blobs near the rim are highly collectible. And when they are dramatic enough, they command prices in the tens or hundreds of thousands. And when combined with other errors they can reach into the millions. and speaking of combinations, there are multiple error coins, coins that show more than one mistake, such as a 1999 D cent that is both off-center and struck on a wrong planchet, or one that is double die and broad struck, and these compound errors are among the rarest of all, often unique, and uniqueness in numismatics is one of the ultimate drivers of value, which is why such coins can easily be worth millions, and condition plays a critical role too, because while error coins are rare, most of them enter circulation and get damaged or worn, but the few that survive in pristine mint state condition with full luster and minimal marks are exponentially more valuable, and grading companies assign numbers on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with MS 67, MS 68, or higher being almost flawless, and when a 1999 D error cent is certified at one of these high grades, collectors treat it like fine art, bidding millions to own a near-perfect example of a minting mistake, and beyond the technical errors. Part of the fascination is psychological, because humans are naturally drawn to mistakes and anomalies, and while most coins are valued for their perfection, error coins are valued precisely because they are imperfect, because they reveal the hidden world of minting machinery, the rare moments when things go wrong, and these mistakes become time capsules, preserving in metal the flaws that slipped past the mint's quality control, and in the case of the 1999 D cent, this fascination is magnified because Lincoln cents are one of the most collected series in the world, meaning demand is incredibly high, and when demand meets extreme rarity, prices explode, and this is how we arrive at valuations as high as $8 million for the rarest examples, because in an auction setting, wealthy collectors and investors compete fiercely for ownership, and the bidding wars push the price into territory that seems unbelievable to casual observers but makes perfect sense to numismatic insiders, and if we think about it, the story of the 1999 D cent worth $8 million is more than just about money, it is about history, chance, and the thrill of discovery, because even today it is possible that one of these coins is still sitting unnoticed in someone's coin jar, wallet, or bankroll, waiting to be discovered by someone with sharp eyes and knowledge, and that possibility fuels the excitement of the hobby, inspiring collectors to search diligently, to learn about error coins, and to dream of finding that one life-changing piece, and beyond all of this, the legend of the 1999 D cent reminds us that sometimes the smallest objects can hold the greatest value, that imperfection can create perfection in worth, and that luck and knowledge together can transform a simple penny into a fortune, and as time goes by these coins will only become rarer and more valuable, because the number of surviving examples can only decrease while demand increases, ensuring that the story of the 1999 D $8 million penny will continue to grow, inspiring treasure hunters and collectors for generations to come, and so the next time you look at a penny from 1999, especially one from the Denver Mint, do not dismiss it as just pocket change, take a closer look, study it carefully, because you never know, you might just be holding one of the most valuable coins in the world, a coin worth $8 million, a coin that could change your life forever. Last 2001 cent coin, everyone to our channel where today we dive into one of the most fascinating and mind-blowing stories in the world of coins and collectibles, a story that proves that sometimes the smallest things can carry the biggest surprises, and I am talking about the 2000 Lincoln 1 cent coin. A coin that was struck to be worth only a single penny but has turned into a treasure valued as high as $7 million because of the incredible errors, minting mistakes, and rare varieties that make it one of the most sought-after pieces in modern numismatics, and in this video we are going to take you on a deep journey into what makes the 2000 penny so valuable, why collectors go crazy for it, what types of mistakes occurred at the United States Mint that year, and how all these elements come together to transform an everyday coin into a life-changing fortune. And before we dive into the details, let me remind you that stories like these are what make the hobby of coin collecting so exciting, because they show us that history, luck, rarity, and human error can combine in ways no one expected. So let's set the stage in the year 2000, a year that was filled with anticipation as the new millennium began, and the U.S. Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents at both Philadelphia and Denver, struck on copper-plated zinc planchets with the familiar obverse of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner and the reverse featuring the Lincoln Memorial, and while most of these coins were absolutely ordinary, a very tiny number left the mint with remarkable errors, and those are the coins that would become the legends of the year 2000, and when we talk about the value of $7 million for a 2000 cent, We are talking about extreme rarity, dramatic minting blunders, and conditions so pristine that collectors are willing to spend fortunes for them. And one of the most famous categories of errors that appear on 2000 cents is the doubled die, where the die itself receives two misaligned impressions from the hub, creating visible doubling of design elements on the finished coin, and on 2000 cents some doubling has been found on the date, the word Liberty, the motto, In God We Trust, and even the columns of the Lincoln Memorial, and when this doubling is dramatic, it becomes an instantly recognizable variety that collectors crave. And when graded in mint state condition with high levels of luster and no circulation wear, such coins can command extraordinary values. And another dramatic error type is the off-center strike, which happens when the planchet is not correctly centered in the coining press, causing the design to be struck off to one side and leaving part of the coin blank, and the more extreme the off-center, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially if the date and mint mark are still visible, and for the year 2000. Off-center errors exist where nearly half of the coin is blank yet the date can still be seen, and these pieces in mint condition are worth a fortune, sometimes hundreds of thousands on their own and even more when they are extreme. And then there are broad strike errors, which occur when the collar that normally holds the coin in place during striking malfunctions, allowing the coin to spread out wider and thinner than usual, producing a distorted but fully struck piece, and 2000 broad strike cents are rare and collectible, especially when they show full detail. And another category is the die break or cut error, where part of the die actually cracks or breaks away, causing raised blobs or missing sections of design on the coin, and when these cuts are large and dramatic they become highly collectible, and in some 2000 cents we see huge die breaks across Lincoln's portrait or along the rim, creating unique patterns that make each coin one of a kind. And then there are wrong planchet errors, among the most dramatic and valuable of all, which occur when a coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination. So imagine a Lincoln cent design struck on a dime blank or even a foreign coin blank, and in the year 2000 a few examples are known where Lincoln cents were struck on planchets meant for dimes or nickels, producing undersized or oddly colored coins that blow collectors' minds, and because they are so rare and easily authenticated, they can sell for astronomical prices. And when you combine these dramatic errors with high grades from top grading companies like PCGS or NGC, the value can shoot into the millions. And there are also transitional errors that happened around the millennium era, coins that were struck with mismatched dies or experimental blanks, creating varieties that should not exist. And for the 2000 penny such transitional pieces are extremely valuable because they tell the story of the mint adjusting processes at the turn of the millennium, and collectors love owning a piece of that history. And if we think about the psychology of why a 2000 penny could be worth $7 million, it comes down to the simple equation of supply and demand, because these errors are incredibly rare, often unique, and when two or more wealthy collectors want the same coin at an auction, they bid against each other until the price reaches mind-boggling levels, and that is exactly how coins like these end up in the multi-million-dollar range. Because the combination of rarity, historical significance, dramatic appearance, and collector demand creates a perfect storm of value, and condition also plays a huge role, because error coins that remain in circulation tend to get damaged or worn, but the few that are discovered early and preserved in mint state condition are exponentially more valuable, and when grading companies certify them at MS 67, MS 68, or even MS 69 levels, they become nearly priceless, treated like works of art rather than coins, and beyond the technical errors and minting mechanics, part of the allure of the 2000 penny lies in the idea that treasures can still be hidden in plain sight, that even today someone could find one of these legendary coins in a jar of change or a bankroll, and that possibility excites collectors and treasure hunters around the world, inspiring them to look closely at every penny that passes through their hands. Because the dream of finding a $7 million coin keeps the hobby alive with excitement, and this is what makes the 2000 cents so legendary. Because it is more than just a coin, it is a symbol of chance, rarity, and the way tiny imperfections can create immense value, and the story of this coin reminds us that history and fortune often hide in the most unexpected places, and so as you listen to this story, imagine the possibility that in some forgotten drawer, piggy bank, or coin roll, one of these 2000 error cents still waits to be discovered, and the person who finds it will suddenly go from holding a penny to holding a treasure worth $7 million, And that is why collectors and experts consider the 2000 Lincoln cent one of the most fascinating coins of modern times, because it combines history, error, rarity, condition, and demand into one perfect storm of value that transforms an ordinary object into a life-changing prize, and as time passes these coins will only grow more valuable, because the number of surviving examples will shrink while interest in rare era coins continues to rise, ensuring that the legend of the $7 million penny will live on for generations, inspiring treasure hunters, collectors, and dreamers to keep searching, learning, and cherishing the magic of coin collecting, because at the end of the day the story of the 2000 penny is a story about how even the smallest details can carry the biggest surprises, and how sometimes 1 cent can be worth more than $7 million. And that is what makes this tale so incredible, so the next time you come across a 2000 penny, do not dismiss it as just pocket change, study it closely, check for doubling, look for off-center strikes, examine the edges for cuts or broad strikes, weigh it for wrong planchets, and always remember that hidden among the billions of ordinary coins could be the one extraordinary error that changes everything forever.